I'm Ryan Crouch, and I will be leading this discussion today. I myself have about 3 years of lifting experience, and I was a high school athlete that competed in all 4 years of high school, won plenty of awards, and we'll go from there. I'm going to let my audience introduce themselves and their lifting experience right now.
My name is Taylor. I have 2.5 years of 3 years of lifting experience. I was a high school athlete. I did multiple sports, did multiple events for track, and that's about my experience.
Name is Marcus Wilkerson. I competed in football, basketball, track, soccer, cross country, track and field throughout high school, and after that, I have another 2 to 3 years of just bro lifting, as they would say. That's all.
I'm Jake. I didn't do any high school sports, but I've been doing strength training for about 2 years now, and I just started this year at doing CrossFit.
All right. Today we're going to be talking about dieting techniques within fitness. Because fitness is becoming such a growing sport, and everybody has their own takes on diet. You have your dirty diet people, you have your clean diet people. Today we're going to talk about which one is more beneficial and cull out some of the bad information that's been brought up over the web and just come to a conclusion on which one's better. I mean, we don't have to, each person's going to have their own mindset on which one's better. So we're just going to see what everybody thinks, and we're going to discuss those topics. To start this off, let's talk about the dirty dieting in fitness. And what are some pros for dirty dieting in fitness?
You're going to get a lot of all of your calorie intakes with dirty dieting. You get all of your calorie surplus, and the main thing that you work about is getting all of your protein that you will need.
I think for me, it's more of a mental aspect. You don't have to stress about, getting your protein, carbs, and fats balanced right. You just get a nice, decent meal in, and then you go hit the gym.
Yeah, I mean, I just figured, one of the better things about dirty dieting is just going to be the lack of stress from trying to count calories or trying to, really figure out what's good to eat and what's not. So.
Okay. And what are some cons for dirty dieting?
One of the main cons of dirty dieting is that you don't actually track how much fat you're intaking. You just kind of eat whatever you want. Mainly it's junk food that people get just to hit their calories and protein, and you're gaining a lot of fat, so you're gaining about 50-50 with like your muscle gains and fat gains.
I think the two cons is fat causes more fat storage. Excess calories just going to turn into fat, and the more fat cells you have, the more fat your body will hold. So it's just increasing more fat storage. Then also, because of increased fat storage, you also get something called anabolic resistance, where all the excess fat throws off your ability to synthesize insulin, and I guess the best way to say it, just it throws off your metabolism, and it doesn't know how to properly regulate protein, carbs, and fats in order to keep your body properly fueled.
Another thing is also when you're doing the whole dirty dieting thing, you're going to get a lot of those unwanted artificial ingredients into your body as well. Like if you eat McDonald's, they've got a lot of preservatives that you don't need, a lot of artificial things, a lot of artificial flavors, all that stuff, which just isn't good for your body.
What's a typical body fat percentage consist of for a dirty diet trainee?
That'll vary depending on their level of training and what they do. Because it can range. Usually, if you're doing dirty dieting, it's going to be the same as a clean eater, but they just have to work a little harder to get the lower body percentage on it.
I think it, like I said, it depends on what sport you're in. For a bodybuilder, I know professional, they try not to go anything beyond 20 to 25% body fat. Strongman kind of varies depending on what weight class they're in. If they're super heavyweights, they pretty much don't too much care for it. what their body fat is, as long as it doesn't create too much excess weight for them to carry around. And anything else such as like professional sports, so the basketball, track, or athletics, they try to keep it down to 14 or less. So yeah, dirty diet isn't exactly in their repertoire.
It's kind of like what Jake was saying. It kind of varies depending on how intense their workout and their training programs are. It's going to vary for every person. With dirty dieting, you know, he was talking about the fat cells and everything, and if you get an excess amount of your fat cells of what your body can handle, it's going to be a lot harder to burn that weight off than it would for a person that would do a clean diet.
And as we all know, with a dirty diet, you have health warnings. You're always going to have health warnings while not eating as healthy as others. But are these health warnings a risk as because you are exercising? Are they going to be as greater a risk, or does it really matter?
With dirty dieting, like Marcus was saying earlier, your body can't produce. It's going to shoot out its insulin at like different times, and insulin's like a main cause of like diabetes and everything like that. If it can't manage itself. Also, with dirty dieting, you're going to have a lot higher cholesterol than you would, and you can start having heart problems from like other varies of just eating junk food.
As you touched on, like some health issues such as cholesterol, you know, especially like for African Americans, high blood pressure, and then also it could lead into kidney failures because of the ability to not be able to process all the excess fat and stuff. And overall, even though you are exercising and you are burning calories, if you're not burning as much as you are putting in or close to that amount, you're just adding more work for your heart to filter all those calories.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I have pretty much the same opinion as Marcus. You know, as long as even though you're not going to put in a lot of work to try to burn all those calories of the excess fat and everything like that on there, there's only so much you can do before, you know, you don't actually get all the fat.
So in general here on dirty dieting, I mean, we've come to the conclusion that it's not the healthiest choice. Either way you go, you're going to have health risks with that dirty diet. As Taylor has said here, it is easier to get your calories, but also for cons there, you might get your calories, but what are you getting in those calories? So let's move on now to the clean diet side in fitness. How is it more beneficial, and can it help you more than a dirty diet?
Yeah, it could definitely help you a lot more just because, you know, I know from my experience when I used to do a lot of more clean dieting, I not only would have a lot more physical health benefits, but I was also just feel better. You know, my days would be better. And yeah, it's a little bit more work, you know, trying to find something that's healthier and everything like that. But I believe that it's definitely well worth the effort.
I agree with him too as well. You know, your body feels different when you put in the right stuff in it compared to eating a nice, healthy, you know, portion of a steak with your greens and mashed potatoes and, you know, a glass of water compared to going to McDonald's and getting like 3 double, triple Big Macs, a large Coke, and 2 things of fries. Your body is going to function a whole lot different from that healthy meal compared to that fast food meal. And you're going to, not only is it just the fact of feeling better, you're going to do better because you feel better.
I agree with both of them. Like he was saying, when you go to like McDonald's and all that stuff, after you get done eating, you're going to feel a lot more groggy and like tired than you would when you eat out of clean. Eating clean, you'll have a little bit more energy. Your day's going to feel more productive than just kind of dragging on like you would from a dirty dieting.
Okay. Because you kind of briefly went over our dirty dieting aspect as you liked it. It's something that you use. How would you say that a clean diet is just as beneficial as a dirty diet?
I mean, with dirty dieting and clean dieting, essentially you're going to get the same amount of calories of which what you're doing. With the clean diet, you're just putting in more stuff that's beneficial for you. You're counting everything that you're putting into your body. So whereas dirty dieting, you're maybe putting in more fats and carbohydrates than you want into your diet, where if you were looking at a clean diet aspect, you're going to put in what you want every day.
I mean, do you think one's more beneficial than the other?
Just dieting wise, or just
Dieting and fitness.
dieting and fitness? Me personally, I've always done a dirty diet. I haven't really done a lot of experimenting with clean diet. I've seen great reviews on people that do clean diets, but for me, my body has worked with dirty dieting.
As Jake said earlier, body fat percentage just is really determined on what you're eating, how much you're eating. So, I mean, in general, what's a relative body fat percentage for someone on a clean diet?
Usually, people on clean diets, since they're eating healthier things that are usually less in fat, theirs is going to be, once again, it's depending on how much they're working out and they're enjoying fitness and everything like that. But it's usually going to be lower than if you were to have a dirty diet, just because they are putting better nutrients in their body.
I'll say probably anywhere between 10 to 14% body fat, because physically they're probably anything below, I believe, 16 or 15, you're gonna be able to see abs and some definition. And then depending on if they're competitive or not, if they're competitive, they might have just a little bit more body fat, because when you compete, you want to have cushioned fat around your joints and stuff to help protect your body, because it's not always healthy to be lean and then performing a competitive task, because it puts a lot of pressure on the joints, and that's what the fat is there for, to protect those. But literally, in general, I would say a clean bulking diet, most likely that individual is going to be keeping their body fat about 14 or below.
Okay. That's great points. And as it's already concluded that health-wise in diet, in a clean diet, are you going to benefit, are you going to be healthier in a clean diet to a point that you're going to actually live longer than someone on a dirty diet?
I believe, yeah, you probably will, just because, with a clean diet, you're getting less preservatives with less salt and stuff like that, which is going to cause high blood pressure. And one of the biggest epidemics here in America is obesity. And usually, if you're obese, usually your life expectancy is lower than those eating on a clean diet. So I think just from that statement alone, it's going to be pretty obvious that eating clean will be definitely beneficial.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on now to calorie counting. I know, as we all know, in the fitness industry, calorie counting is a huge thing. And some people just believe that it's not as important as others do. So why do we count calories?
Well, we count calories because in order to lose the weight we want to, we have to work out a certain number of calories as opposed to the calories we have coming in. So if we're putting in more calories than we are working out, then we're not really going to get thinner, leaner, fitter. Usually you want to try to work out either close to or more than you're putting in your body.
And that's the same that goes with trying to put on weight too. If you're you need to eat more than what you're going to be burning off if you're trying to gain weight. If that's what your goal is, to gain weight and to bulk, then you would want to eat more calories than you're burning off.
I think they both made great points, but I also want to include to monitor their progress. If their goal is to lose weight or to gain weight and they're having issues with it, they can always, if they're recording their calorie intake, they can always go back and see, what may have interfered with that process. Maybe they had too many fats or carbs on this day, or they didn't get enough proteins this day, and they can kind of see why their program is lacking or not getting the results that they want.
Okay. I know in personal experience, calorie counting can be monotonous, but what are some negative side effects of calorie counting?
Well, the biggest negative side effect of having to count calories is the fact that you have to count calories. No one likes doing it. It's a task that is just puts too much time. You know, we usually don't want to deal with the numbers and stuff like that. I know me, I don't like math, and so trying to add up all that stuff is, you know, a little bit of a task for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's very time consuming especially to plan out your day of like everything that you want to eat to make sure that you hit everything right. It's just time consuming. A lot of people don't want to take the time to plan all of that out on a daily basis.
Okay. Because I know you like dirty dieting.
Yeah.
Do you calorie count?
I don't really calorie count. I know my rough estimate of how much I need to gain weight, and I just kind of rough estimate on everything that I eat. And I know that I may not eat enough on some days, and some days I may eat enough. I just don't actually take the time and count every single calorie that I put into my body.
Okay. I know a lot of people in today's fitness industry believe it's not all about counting calories for the day. It's more about counting calories for your week. What do y'all think about that idea?
The idea of it, you know, it seems pretty logical. I mean, whether you count calories for the day or you count calories for the week, you know, even if you're just doing it day by day, all that's going to end up to what your week is anyways. So I can see, you know, every day, you know, you're focusing on kind of how many calories you need. And so I can see that having more time to kind of adjust what you've been eating and stuff like that is less stressful, which will definitely allow someone to count the calories for the week a little bit easier than as to per day.
An issue I see with that is if you're doing it for the week, you may, on certain days, you may be eating less, and then some days you're eating more. You're still going to hit the same, but you're not helping your body as much because you're not getting all your nutrients that you should on that day that you did in a workout, especially like if you do a very high intensity workout like a leg day. You know, if you don't eat enough on leg day, it's not going to benefit you, and then you go the next day and you eat more, you're actually just kind of losing your progress just because you didn't eat enough for your body the day of your high intensity workouts.
And if I may, like on that note, yeah, it's true. You know, you definitely would want to keep that up higher. But on leg day, I would assume that those people who are counting for the week would know, oh, I'm going into leg day today. So they probably would end up raising their calorie count just a bit that day.
And like the thing is, and if they don't start seeing progress with like what they're doing and how much they're gaining, they won't know what they're doing on a daily basis on what to increase. They're gonna see like on a week, and they'll just be like, oh well, I'm not really making any progress. Let's just push up my calories to like an extra 500, you know, for the week. They're not going to do it on a daily basis where they may just need more intake on a daily basis. I mean, you can calculate it for the week, but again, it all comes back down to whichever one you prefer better. If you're going to take the time to count your calories for the week or for a daily basis, it just kind of all depends on meal prep. Meal prep's probably one of the biggest things about it when you count the calories.
Alright, meal prep is a whole nother topic here, and let's just stick on the calorie counting side. And for the sake of time here, what are some good calorie counting apps? Do y'all have any personal favorites?
MyFitnessPal is definitely one of the best ones.
Same line.
Okay.
Definitely MyFitnessPal.
We're all on the same boat there. Okay, let's talk about macronutrition. Macronutrition goes a lot hand in hand with calorie counting for the most part. What is macronutrition?
Macronutrition is just taking that calorie count to the next step and counting the calories and how many proteins you're getting, calories from how many fats you're getting, and how many carbs you're getting in. Which it's good just because, you know, you get to truly see exactly what you're doing, what you're putting in your body, and so you have more control over it.
Okay.
And if you're aiming for a specific goal, you know, you can divide up in percentages exactly what you need in order to get the energy you need for that workout or overall just body image.
Okay, that's some good points there. What are some clean dieting macros?
Some clean diet macros are just gonna be anything with usually roughly a lower fat percentage, 40% carbs, 40% proteins, and like 20% fats is probably pretty clean. That's on the upper side.
Uh, Gotta kind of disagree with my panelists over here, in the sense that for clean, and there's a lot of there's pretty much two believed concepts of clean bulking, and that is 20% for one is 20% protein, 40% carbs, and 40% fat. The thing is, when it comes to the fats, you have to make sure they're talking about specifically healthy fats, like almonds and stuff like that, not like butter and grease and like those type of fats. And then the reason that the carbs are higher than the proteins is that you just need depending on your belief system, you just need that 1 gram per pound of protein for for your body weight, and the carbs are more or less just to help your body sustain the protein that it has, so that after a workout your body doesn't just immediately break down all the protein it has. The carbs that you take interfere with the breakdown of protein, and another ratio of macros is 40% protein, 40% carbs, and 20% fats. And the thing I think why there's two of these and why it's just these main two is because it depends on the person's ability to process these foods. Some people can't process fats as good as some people can process carbs. Some people process protein better than other people. So I think it's about finding out which one works for your body type.
Not only that, but also depends on what you're doing, because you see saying bulking. So if you're trying to get bigger, then yeah, you do want a little bit more fats. But if you're trying to get thinner, which is what most of the country wants to do, then you probably want to go less on fats.
Okay. How about dirty dieting macros? Are they any different than a clean diet macro?
Dirty dieting, usually it's not about counting or having your macros. You just want to hit as many calories and as much protein as possible with it. You don't really worry about your carbs or your fat intake.
And what are some pros for counting macros?
You can definitely fine tune what you're doing. Like if you're trying to get ready for a men's physique competition show, you can lower on your fats and stuff like that, while also keeping everything in your calorie counts. Kind of just be able to really keep an eye on what's coming into your body and what you need what works for you and what doesn't.
Anything else to add to that?
Like I said, he talked about men's physique. I'm talking more like a performance such as a CrossFit or endurance or like a triathlon, like those type of events or competitions. You can see where you might want to increase your carb intake, so you store more energy, for those type of events where you're spending so much energy, and you might want to lessen the fat but keep the protein up, just so your body can maintain the muscle mass it has. But even though with those type of events you're going to lose some muscle mass because of the high endurance, you can still maintain some instead of just completely just degrading the muscle mass you have from the endurance.
So moving on into dieting performance that goes hand in hand with calorie counting, macronutrition, and what type of diet you're doing. What does general performance consist of on a dirty diet?
With me, it's usually, in the morning, it's fine because I don't really have a whole lot of I don't have a whole lot of energy really in the morning, just because you kind of sleep and then you wake up and you don't have really anything on any intake. But later on throughout the day, I'll have more energy, and so when I work out at night, because I personally work out at night rather than I do in the morning. When I work out at night, I have my food that I've accumulated all day, and I have a lot more energy to burn at night than I would if I just woke up in the morning.
Okay. On a side note, for dirty dieting performance-wise, let's keep it workout timing out of it. Just in general, does performance, or do you feel like your performance would be better with a clean diet or a dirty diet?
Honestly, in my opinion, it might. Like I said, I've never really tried clean dieting. With dirty dieting, I do feel groggy. Sometimes I am tired a lot, but again, it's kind of personal preference on what you want to do. Okay. I don't really take the time to do all the calorie counting and my macronutrition.
Okay. How about clean?
Like I said earlier, when I eat clean, I do feel better. So, I eat a good, healthy breakfast, hit my calories, hit my macros. I feel like the day's just going to be better and I'm ready to go work out a little bit more, a little bit harder. I feel like I put in a better performance in the gym and just throughout the day in general. I just feel like it's a better way to perform.
Okay. So I agree with him because I have times where at least 1 week every like each month I have the one weekend or the week where I kind of let myself kind of slide a little bit, and on the weekends I tend to sometimes lorge Papa John's pizza with the words breadsticks, chicken wings, go broke, but and I know the next day when I try to go to the park and sprint or really just try to do anything, I'm not giving my best efforts because I don't feel like my body's at its best because of all the excess food I eat.
Let's go into our conclusion on these types of dieting techniques here. Benefits for a clean diet, it seems like you're going to be healthier. You're going to have a little bit more energy than you would doing a dirty diet. And for the most part, you're going to have a relatively low body fat percentage. It might be a little monotonous to count calories and make sure your macros are perfect, but overall health seems like it's a big topic here for clean. For dirty wise, benefits there, it's easier to count your calories because you're not counting calories. You're just worried about getting all the calories that you could possibly get into your body at one time to gain the weight you want to gain. Performance issues with dirty dieting would be maybe feeling a little sluggish. You might not have the energy to work out in the mornings. It's more of you'll have all your energy at nighttime after you've had sustenance throughout the day. So in general here, what are we looking at in comparison?
I mean, I would assume, from that, clean eating is going to be definitely harder. But, in the terms of fitness, this is why we do it because it's hard and that's what we do. So I say put the work in and it'll be definitely better.
Anything else to add to that?
I agree with him 100%. The only thing I might say about how you said you might feel better throughout the day as you're eating is also too that in males, we have found that in the morning your testosterone isn't that high, but as you go out throughout the day, usually by evening your testosterone is at its highest level, and that's usually getting in bed with your lady, and that's usually when you just let go. But yeah, eating decent carbs throughout the day also assists in that. So it might be more beneficial in a sense in dirty dieting to where you want to get those excess calories and slowly building up throughout the day. But at the same time, if you're not watching the quality of the food that you're putting in your body throughout the day, that's where it becomes detrimental.
Just to wrap this up real quick, summary-wise, we've made some great points. Everybody's had their own opinion on what diet's better and which one performs better. Overall, obesity is a huge thing in our country.
Yeah.
And would you say, as a whole, would it be better? Does it matter about diet as long as we get our nation on track with fitness and exercise? Just to get them started, newly trained people, would you say, would it be better to get them training no matter their diet?
I mean, you can, train as much as you want. I know, back a while ago, I just kind of just go lift, but I didn't care what I ate, and it didn't really benefit me as much as I did, and I didn't perform as well in the gym. So you do have to consider dieting as one, and dieting and exercise, they go hand in hand. You can't really have one without the other if you truly want to be fit.
I'm sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I think, and I'm gonna take this because I am kind of a fan of the CrossFit model and philosophy, is that the fitness. I think if they try the fitness first and they start to enjoy it, and as humans we are naturally competitive, and they want to better themselves, they start breaking down. What do I need to do to get better at this, so I can be better than the person I was the day before? It may cause them to, hopefully, somebody that they have good training not to point them in the direction they're not focusing on. So I should lift more or do this exercise. Maybe they'll get them to say, maybe you should start eating this way, so you have more energy and you can recover better from your exercises, so you can continue to improve from day to day. And I just think, starting out with the fitness first might get the light bulb to go off of people's head.
I agree with Marcus. If you throw in diet for someone that, especially like someone that's just starting out working out, if you try to completely get them to change, what they're doing, and try to make them count all these calories and put all this extra effort into actually, instead of just going and training, then they're going to be more likely to quit because they have so much that they have to manage and they don't want to take the time to do it.
Okay. Just to wrap this up, I want to ask y'all to apply some of these things we've talked about today and create your own diet plan. I know it is hard. It is very hard to meal prep. It is very hard to just live a monotonous life and have a great diet and stay in shape. But it is a lifestyle. So in evaluation, I want to go around the room real quick and just give your experiences that you already haven't given, because we've gone over it a little bit here. Your experiences with dieting and your fitness life.
With me, my diet, it consists of whatever I want, whether I order a pizza, I go to Whataburger, Chipotle, whatever I feel like going, I'm going. It's just my mindset. I don't worry about anything else. I just go eat what I want, eat until I'm full, and then I just continue my day.
Yeah, would you say that it's benefited you?
For my body, yes. I mean, I have grown and I've seen some progress, so I would say that it benefits me.
For me, when I was in high school playing sports, I had to admit I was just pretty much eating just about anything, but it wasn't a big issue because I was playing from one sport to another and still lifting weights and still doing things outside of my sports, like playing basketball and stuff on the weekends. And but once sports was over, and I wasn't training as hard, and I wasn't playing sports when I first got in college, I shot up to 310 pounds, had high blood pressure, my cholesterol was bad. I was in real bad shape, and I had to start getting on medicine. And it wasn't until one day at work where I bent over to pick something up that my pants split. That I woke up, and even though I talked about the whole CrossFit model of like exercise first and then diet and follow, the first thing I did was I just stopped going out to eat and stopped eating bad foods, and I lost just 30 pounds alone from just doing that. Because girls don't like 310-pound men when it's not, muscular and shape. And once I finally lost the weight and I got down to about 188, I started. I learned about clean bulking, and I slowly got my physique back to where it was in high school, where I just walked everywhere with no shirt on. So that's my experience with dirty and clean. And honestly, the clean to me is more beneficial because when I went back to go see the doctor, doctor said my heart was, like a racehorse, and that my good cholesterol and bad cholesterol like abnormal, because from where I was when I first came in to 2 years after I lost all the weight, you know, he said it's like I was a different person came in to take these tests. So
I know with me, you know, coming from a Mexican family, we eat a lot of greasy food, things like that. So, you know, all throughout my school career, you know, I've been eating kind of whatever I want, whatever my mom made. After I started working out a little bit more, you know, I try to lose weight, try to, you know, get stronger and everything like that. Looked closer at what I was eating, and I found that, you know, for me, even though I had to put in that work was definitely well rewarded, and that I felt stronger, felt better in the mornings, and my all-around performance throughout my, you know, days was definitely better. So just eating cleaner has just helped me a lot.
All right. To end this, I just want to thank y'all for coming out and discussing these topics. And for the most part, we come to the conclusion that it's all preference. You might get benefits from one or the other, but in general, it's a lifestyle. It's how you want to live. It's part of your life. So do it how you want to do it.
Definitely.
I'd say as long as we get more people in the gym and trying to live healthier, the diet will come. So I just want y'all to keep an open mindset on dieting and just apply some techniques to it and see where y'all's progress goes. Thank y'all.
thanks, Professor J.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.